Welcome to the Synoptic Gospel, Overview of the Gospel Series, Part 8, Features of the Synoptic Gospel. The Synoptic Gospel 5-column database was compiled using the NASB version of the Scriptures, the New American Standard Bible. The NASB version was chosen because it is clear, reasonably accurate, and in modern American English. The NASB translation was used with the permission of the Lockman Foundation, who hoped that you would like the way that this Gospel reads and would want a copy of the entire New American Standard Bible. So that the entire storyline flowed as logically as possible, all of the events in the entire text of the 5th column of 5-column were ordered against a timeline for the life of Jesus, which was constructed around the likely dates of his birth, death, and resurrection. Ordering all of the verses from the Gospels according to a timeline eliminates most of the confusion about what Jesus said, or when and where he was when he said or did it. As for the Synoptic Gospel, the first feature to note is that, as with any large book or play, the entire unified storyline of the 5th column was divided into 10 chapters, each based on a period of time, such as a year, although some of the chapters are much shorter. Each chapter was divided into as many as 9 acts, which consist of shorter periods of time that group together events that all happened at roughly the same time and in the same general location. Each act was then subdivided into as many as 9 shorter scenes of action, which may be a single parable or conversation, or may take place over a few hours, or cover the course of a day or two. In total, the Synoptic Gospel consists of 360 scenes, each of which is designated by a 3-digit scene reference number. And this scene reference number tells you when this event likely happened in relation to all of the other events in the Synoptic Gospel story. For example, Scene 112 is from the 1st chapter, while Scene 873 is from the 8th chapter, and, as there are 9 chapters, this event in the 8th chapter happened close to the end of the Gospel story. As a final step, for ease of reference, as with the original Gospels, the groups of words that comprise the 5th column of each scene were renumbered or reversed, and this verse reference is included after a period following the scene reference number. The verses as assigned in the Synoptic Gospel are on average a little shorter than the verses that were originally assigned to the 4 Gospels, and this makes them easy to remember. So that you can know where Jesus was when he said and did certain things, each of the 9 main chapters of the book begins with a map of either Israel or Jerusalem as they would have appeared at the time of Jesus. Where an event happened that is mentioned in that chapter, like, say, Jesus is mentioned as being in Capernaum or passing through Jericho, then those locations are highlighted in red on the map for that chapter. In this way, it is easy to see not only the things that Jesus said and did, but also where he was when he said or did them. Some black and white printed versions of the Synoptic Gospel will fill in the red locations as white circles. Within the chapters, the beginning of each scene also lists the likely location, along with a possible date of the event, which was assigned according to the timeline for the life of Jesus. Because it is not always possible to know with certainty exactly when every event mentioned within the Gospels may have occurred, most dates are provided to merely indicate when that event may have occurred in relation to all of the other events in the combined Gospel story. So that a fuller meaning can be gleaned from the words of Jesus Christ, the Synoptic Gospel includes one of the most complete sets of references from the Gospels to the Scriptures of the Old Testament. Use these references to look up the full context of the original quote. Appendix 2 at the back of the book is a Gospel cross-reference, where you can see where that Gospel appears within the Synoptic Gospel. Verses that are bold indicate that that verse is part of a parallel set, which can be seen when you look at the 5-column database. In the end, with all of these design features, the Synoptic Gospel is very useful to give a quick and complete understanding of the full Gospel story of all that Jesus Christ said and did and taught. This ends Part 8 of the Synoptic Gospel, Overview of the Gospels.